prayer for you, just a sweet word. The table is prepared for you.
Namaskar. Welcome to Women's Special Express Show. Our today's guest is Mrs. India 2019. She has proven through this pageant that every woman is beautiful beyond her physical appearance, color, or any norms that can be measured in modeling ramp scale. She is mesmerizing everyone and rising many lives as a life and a business coach. She has shared her painful past in a graceful manner and stood for her own rights. She has forgive those who made her miserable and took her to the dark side of the life. She is kind, strong, and above all, living life in a celebration mode. Let's meet this lovely soul, Neha Vikas, on our show today. Namaskar. Welcome to the Women's Special Express Show. Our today's guest is Mrs. India 2019. She has proven that beauty is all beyond the physical world. She has proven that it's the heart that makes women more beautiful. She is a life coach by herself, and above all, she has come out a very strong and a very positive after seeing a very dark side of her life. Let's welcome Neha Didi. Namaste, Neha Didi.
Hi, Pranali. Namaste. Thank you so much
How are
for
you
having
doing?
me.
It's our pleasure. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm great. Thank you so much. How about you?
I'm doing great too. By seeing all of you, it makes me more pleasant and more happy now.
Wonderful.
So we see a very good smile on your face right now, but you're stuck at your native, am I right?
Yes. So right now, as you know, the lockdown happened in India. We just traveled 2 or 3 days before that, when there was Janta curfew declared by our Prime Minister over here in India,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't know that we will not be able to go back. So it's almost more than 2 months that we are at my parents' place, but it's a good place to be in, though.
That's true. That's so wonderful. I mean, now otherwise we won't get that kind of a time, right, to spend with time. I mean, parents. It's nice. So you're cooking
Yes,
again there for your
yes,
parents now.
yes, yes.
Wow, good retreat. Uh,
Yes.
so what are you doing in the quarantine right now to keep yourself busy?
Well, you know what? I always had been doing a lot of work. Even if when I was not a professional, I would volunteer and I would be part of so many different courses or uh, different social work and kind of things. So before that, before being in Pune, I had always been into family business, which was my ex-family, my ex-husband's family business that we were into. So it had been very long time. I'd been thinking that what if I don't do anything? Will I be able to still be fine? Will I be able to survive? So that's what I'm doing now. Actually, I'm having this time to myself doing nothing, but
Wow.
still, being with my parents, cooking, having this time off with Vikas. We have so much time with each other, and still doing some volunteering work, like some seva work and all that we can do. So yeah, that's all. I'm chilling.
What kind of seva work you are doing?
So, when initially the lockdown happened, there was a lot of ruckus and a lot of chaos about poor people and the laborers who were traveling from where they were to the place that they were really belonging to. And there was a lot of food crisis initially. What we did is that we have one foundation over here, which is they cook food, a lot of food in a very low rate, which is like almost rupees per plate, which will serve two people, or at least for two plates will serve five people, most of, two children, two adults, something like that. So what we did is we started giving that out to people. We'll take that plate and we'll go and distribute it. And we started a campaign where we asked people if they could support us in any whichever ways, by blessings, by cash, by kind, whatsoever. If they have any references they would like to give us, to for us to know where we can go and help or ask for help, or who needs our help. So that had been something. Right now, situation is so much better. Yes, it's still lockdown over here, but slowly and gradually businesses are opening, and people have now settled to their own places where they belong. So it's little better. But yes, initial time when this happened, it was a shock for everybody, and a lot of things were going on. So we were doing that kind of almost for 1.5 months we did that. And now
Wow.
I think since last 15-20 days again we are free, that okay, now that much is not needed, people can move out and they can have food, and they can, a lot of people came up like us, like ourselves, a lot of people came up. So a lot of things are being provided now. So yeah,
Wow,
that
that's
small bit
nice.
we did. Yeah.
Yeah, so you are actually going to the people and giving them a food, or how it is in this? I mean, what kind of protocols you're maintaining, just to be safe and
Yeah, so we have team, everybody is divided. Some of them are packing, some of them are cooking, some of them are going there and delivering the food, some of them are making arrangements for traveling from one place to another to get the things done. So randomly whatever comes, like we have not chosen or made any kind of protocol in a way that we should not be going or we should be going. But if we are going, like maybe once or twice we had to go, we make sure that we maintain the social distancing, we wear the mask, and we sanitize ourselves before we come home, we take baths as soon as we come home. So we have to be careful about it. So all of that stuff we did really maintain all the protocols in that way. However, we were so many people, I'm amazed that when you want to do some good work, there are so many people always around and you get so
that's
much
true.
help. You're never
Yeah.
alone. So yeah, it was never a pressure or nothing like that on us. But yes, one protocol that we all maintain, all of the team maintain, was that never taking pictures with people whom we are serving, to always maintain their dignity and not to show off as if we are doing something for people who are not meeting that equality or not meeting the dignity, was something that we really really really, all of us, all, none of the volunteers ever clicked a picture with any of the poor people or anybody. Even if it was that we are providing to doctors or policemen, we never clicked a picture.
Wow,
So
that's
that's
really
one.
wonderful. Yeah, good to
We
know
click the
about that.
picture of the, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so we click the picture of the food though, and we presented
Mm-hmm.
that this is what we are giving away, but we never click the picture of people whom we were giving away the food. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's a very very good thought. People want to present their works many a times, no matter whether it's a volunteering or anything. But looking at this side, when somebody is listening to the other side and how they will feel, how we should get connected with them, it's another thought to be given, and it's a wonderful initiative that you are keeping up with. Well, good
Thank
luck
you.
for that.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
Going back to 2019, which is a very important milestone of your life and our life, when we saw that you became Mrs. India in 2019, in spite of you having a lot of issues which doesn't fit in the norm of the modeling ramp. So can you just tell something about that, how that magic happened, and what is that the not so norms that I'm talking about? Would you like to explain that in a bit for our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to. Pranali, in 2019 January, so in every year beginning, I set up my goal for the year, or my intent for the year, more than a goal. Like my intention for this year would be this, or to grow in my business, or to be better in my health. So like in 2019, my intention for myself and the world was that I want to really inspire more people and make them believe that things can turn around no matter what shit you had been through, or what difficulties you had been through, what challenges you had been through. Like myself, I'd been through a lot of stuff, when it comes to my health. Since 2014, more before that, like since 2013 or something, I was almost bedridden. I'd not be able to get up and take a glass of water. From there, coming to this health, like you've seen me before 10 years, how
True.
huge I used to be,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I can't believe that you shred somewhere around 60 kgs in five
yes.
years, man. That's
Yeah. Yeah, so it had been a drill, and people do give up, and people do feel that it's impossible, and I feel that yes, everything is impossible. However, you have to keep on trying on. You never know to life or user manual to anything that you're in. You just entered something, so there's no user manual. So in 2019, my motto was that I want to really impact more people, men and women, all of them, and make them believe that no matter what shit you've been through, you can still have a wonderful life, you can make it through, and you can win it over. And there is no stopping if you decide in your head once. So I asked universe, this is how I do. What I do is I talk to universe and I said that, show me the ways. How can we go about it? What can I do? So three things came to my mind. One of them is that I could probably go on TV and share my journey, or I could go on such talk shows or radio shows and
Mhm.
share my journey, or I could really do something really, really, out of the way. I don't know what it would be probably. So somebody just called me up and said that, this is thing, this Mrs. India pageant is happening. Would you be interested? And I'm saying, I mean, this is not something that I usually am into, but I never say no to things.
Mhm.
So I always say yes. Like you remember how we talked, and I just said yes. Like, yes, we can do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So that's my one thing. And I said, okay, let's explore. There was a huge amount that they asked for if you want to participate into this pageants. It's a business and there's nothing wrong about it.
Mhm.
They also make a lot of arrangements. They do a lot of stuff for you. There's a lot of food, stay, and makeup and dresses and everything. So it comes with a cost, right?
Right.
But however, because I was not willing to pay that much money, because I was like, see, this is not my line, or if I cannot look at this as an investment. If I want to grow in this line, I would think of
Right.
it as an investment and I would pay this money. So
Yeah.
I'm really not keen to do that. But they requested me that you just come and give us the amount for stay and food. Anything else you don't give us,
Hmm.
and it's okay. And I said that I need little support because I'm not very well when it comes to my knee condition. I told them that I have this knee condition, and I also told them I want them that I have vitiligo. So are you sure you want somebody with a skin ailment to come on the ramp? I'm
Right.
very open about my life. And they were like, oh, we really don't mind that. We really want you to come because we think that you will be really able to inspire a lot of other people. I was like, well, that's what I also want to do. And if that's what you want to do, I'm in. So we were 26, we were 45 participants initially, actually. And then we got 26 finalists and all that. Among all of that, there was only one man, that was Vikas. And everybody was like, itni sari, so many beautiful women, and you have got your husband along. How? I said, you Bandi ka confidence dekho. I have the confidence in my husband that he'll not sway away. So I'm okay with he being with me. I know he'll support me. And Pranali, it was another thing that I've ever experienced in my life. I've never been part of something like this. I
Right.
walked the ramp and I did what I talked about, what I believe in, and I talked about what I think. There was nothing prepared for the question and answer round or anything for anything. Even in a talent show, a lot of people did beautiful stuff with their body because they were really energetic, they were really capable, they have no physical issues. But
Mhm.
what all I could do was share one small story, and it still got a lot of attention, a lot of claps, and a lot of applause. So yeah, my intention worked, their intention worked, and things worked out, and here we are.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
really wonderful that, a woman going through a vitiligo, um, it's being there with you since many, many years, I believe. Many
Yes.
women who have that, they lose the confidence eventually going to the social fronts, and it's too much complex that they carry in. But you decided to share down that kind of a complex and coming out of it as a very positive side, or very strong woman. That itself is a challenging, I mean, you are really an inspiration to all kind of women who are going through one or the other type of a complex. And we do go through it, like it's a human nature, right? We do go through it. So like going there, thinking about that kind of a inspiration, I think you had a little bit more background towards it. Can we explore that? You are a life coach by yourself, and that is something had changed your life. So how did you get there, or how did you decided, okay, this is something I really want to do for my life and for others to inspire on?
Oh, well, this is something very dear to me that I love to share. So thank you for this question, in fact. Um, Pranali, in 2009, I was going through a lot of emotional trauma. I was all alone with my son in Pune. And, all I was trying to do was, I was very new to Google at that time. And all I was trying to do was trying to find some answers to my questions and trying to find some solutions to my problems. When I started Googling, Google showed me so many things. We all do this Google Baba thing and ask Google so many things. So, and it shows so many things to us. So
Right.
the same thing with me. Uh, in all of that, there was one particular person whose stuff little attracted me a little bit. So I subscribed to her newsletter, and on the very, you know what happens once we subscribe, we start getting the emails from people we are subscribing to, right?
Yes.
So next day, with a hot cup of tea in my balcony, I was sitting and I just opened my laptop and I was going through the email, and I was like, I just opened that email from that Louise Hay. Her name is Louise Hay. I opened her email, and she mentioned that life is beautiful, life is peaceful, everything is wonderful. You can have what you want. You can just live the life the way you want. Everything is possible. And I was like, bullshit. This woman, this woman sitting in USA does not know what a woman in India is going through. And she's bullshitting herself. She's bullshitting me, and she's bullshitting the whole world. This is impossible. And I spammed her. I just directly spammed her. I just reported that this is a spam thing, like, kind of, and I unsubscribed from the list. I'm still unsubscribed from her list, by the way, after being the teacher. Yes, after being the Helio Life certified trained teacher, I'm still not on the list of that particular
She's
email.
still not allowing you.
Yes. So the journey continued. What happened is that I met one of my son's counselor in school, and she was the turnaround for me. When I met her, I see I'm opening up a very vulnerable part of me, because I really want people to know that if you feel that somebody is born strong, somebody is like this altogether always, it's not so. I was so broken, I was so crumbled, but I brought myself to this place where I'm right now, and anybody can. So I'm sharing my story, not to glorify anything else, but to really glorify what everybody has in themselves, which they need to tap into. So when I met her, I was constantly crying for half an hour, and she gave me a few things to do, and I just did that. And then people, things started changing. Different people started coming in my life, and a lot of things happened. And one day I picked up this book, You Can Heal Your Life, from a roadside a vendor, who sells it for pirated copy for 50 rupees and all. I still have that copy. I give away a copy of 400 rupees to somebody whom I want to gift, but I have kept that copy because that book changed my life. And when I read that book, I was like, I couldn't keep that book down for almost 2 days. I completely read it, and I was constantly questioning. I was so active in so many spiritual different foundations, doing different courses. I think one of them we met into, and
Right.
everything really helped me. Everything really helped me. But whenever I would come home, I would constantly feel this distress, and I'll feel this frustration within me, and I'll be like, I'm doing so many things spiritually, but why? I'm spiritual since I was 21 years old. What's wrong with me? Why things are not changing? And when I read that book, I got my answer. The biggest issue was that my thinking was not changing. How I think about myself, about my life, about my relationship, about my deservability, about my worthiness, about everything around me, it was not changing. When I think that particular person is bad, a particular situation is bad, a particular institution of marriage is bad, how can I have a blissful marriage? How can I have a wonderful self-image if I think that I'm a poor me? I'm a victim of all the situations. When I read that book, that thought process changed, and I again went to Google Baba, and I started searching for more of Louise, and I figured out, okay, I spammed her. She's the lady. She's the one.
Right.
And I found that there is a teacher training course, a workshop leadership teacher training course happening in Australia. At that point of time, Pranali, I didn't have a single penny in my pocket. I didn't have anybody who would, at least in my family, who would give me money. So, I just looked up, and I found out that the course and the whole thing to and fro to Australia and coming back to India and all, my stay and food and everything would cost me somewhere around 4 lakh rupees, Indian rupees. And I was like, okay, I mean, by that time I learned the technique that I have to change my thinking. So I didn't say, no, it's impossible, I can never do it. What I just said to myself, that I'm willing to do this, and I'm willing to figure out how I can do this. That's the
Nice.
words I told to myself. And I actually literally begged and borrowed that money from people around. I gave that money back as well after I started making money. But at that point of time, in very first time in my life, I begged and borrowed that money, and I went to Australia. I was the only one who knew Louise Hay since 2 months. There were people who had been working with this whole theory and these techniques and tools and all that since now. I was the
Wow.
one who only knew for 2 months. Okay, I was very new to the whole thing, and I was the youngest. Oh, it was such a wonderful time. My life changed, and when I came back with a certificate and a training in my hand and a training manual, I thought that now I know the tools and techniques of how to change the life from within, and
Mm-hmm.
now things can't go wrong. Now everything is going to fall in place, and everything is going to be perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
As I came back, I realized that the biggest problem that I had was that I was faking my life to my own self, that everything is fine, my relationship is great, people I'm staying with are great. I was
Mm-hmm.
telling this to myself and to the world. Nobody ever knew that there's so much rut, so much dirt beneath.
Yeah.
And when I came
I
back, the
mean,
roller coaster.
I know that background. We were there together at that point of time. Nobody really knew it till the time things just, change in 360-degree manner. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, when I when the real change happened after the workshop, where I had to accept myself for who I am and love myself and be true to myself that this is not what I want to put up with, and that's fine. That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
make me a failure. And making a decision to not lie to myself is what changed my life.
Wow. That's really interesting. So after that, that is the time I think you decided to end your toxic relationship, right?
Yes.
And it was your decision. You went further and told that now it's a time. I think we should just get separated rather than
Yes.
living separated and carrying forward the marriage in front of the society. It's better if we formally being separated too.
Yes. So in a way, I was not even sleeping in the same bedroom since 10 years, almost after Priyanshu, that is my son.
Yeah.
And I was so the whole thing that was going on, that the lot of trauma that I was taking was because of myself also, because I was constantly trying to pretend that everything is fine. I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
tell the whole world that I'm a success at my relationship and everything is perfectly fine. uh, and I would keep lying about everything in a very rosy way, in a very rosy way.
Mm.
एक आदर्श marriage दिखाने के लिए, एक perfect relationship, in a way to show that.
Yeah.
So I took the charge. I took the charge. I said that, it must end. None of us is happy, and this is not how I want it to go forward. And I can't lie to myself anymore. I'm not able to live like this. So,
Mm.
honestly, we had grown together so much, because when I married him, he was not even earning anything, probably, almost maybe 1,000 or 1,500 rupees a month. From there, we came to a place where he was earning lakhs of rupees, and we had grown
Mm.
together. We had seen so many things together, but so much of toxicity, so much of emotional abuse in a way, emotional
Mm.
trauma in a way, that took a toll on my body. The vitiligo, the osteoarthritis at the age of 34, 32, in fact, the
Mm.
overweight, all of this is autoimmune. All of this is autoimmune disease. Okay.
Mm.
So I I had only, like, I had only two options: either I live like that and kill myself, or I kill this relationship and end whatever is not working for me and start a life, start living. So I made a choice, and it was not a
Mm.
very easy one. It never
Obviously
is
it's
an
it's
easy one.
not. Yeah. I mean, coming out of that 17 years of bond altogether is not easy, and standing with one son, it's absolutely not easy for any women in the world. It's not just in India because there is a society pressure, but then there is so much going on, like, and there is a saying that it's two for tango. So if the woman comes out of the marriage, then they always point out, oh, she must also have something going wrong with her. That's the reason somebody is disobeying her. I mean, carrying that thought, understanding that, and still coming forward, it takes a lot of guts. And above all, I think it takes a lot of self happiness that you wanted to preserve, and of course for other person also. It you kind of freed him from whatever that was going. I'm sure it
Yes.
must have worked out for other half as well in a better way. But when it came down to a son, I mean, as a mother, I also feel very emotional about, that kind of a thing, that the kid who is there will not be able to get both of the parents together any point of time thereon. How did you handle that situation?
So you know what? The biggest issue that I faced, the biggest trauma that ever had in my life, even was not when I was in my marriage, but it was when I left the marriage and I had to let go of Priyanshu. Uh,
Oh.
what happened, Pranali, when we were separating? He insisted that I let the child be with him. Undercurrent things that goes on, a lot of undercurrent blackmailing or a lot of undercurrent pressure that a person can create.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in a lot of ways over you, and I was in a very vulnerable and a very weak place in a way at that point of time, because I wanted the best for my son, and I also wanted best for myself. So
Mm-hmm.
what I thought to myself was that my health was so bad, my health was so I was so unwell, and of course he was financially much more stable than how I was. And
Right.
I made a point that I'll stay in the same society so I can always have an access to my child. And we also made our decree papers like that, the custody
Mm-hmm.
decree, the custody papers like that, where I can always have an access to him. And I never intended to let go of the friendship that we should have as my son's parents.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so having all these things in my head, I went to an extent that when he got married, I went and met his wife. I actually sat with her, we discussed so
Wow.
many things. I said that let us see how we can support each other. My child is with you and I would love to be a support to you. I'd love to
Mm-hmm.
see how whenever I would talk about the lady who had bought the who had been married to my ex-husband, she also has a child of her own. She has got along. Okay, I would refer
Wow.
to always I was always referring it to as I have two sons. I
Mm-hmm.
never thought that that was not my son, even though that was not my son actually. But I always
Right.
preferred, if I talk to somebody, if there is something that I'm discussing about, I say I have two sons there in Pune. I'd never think like that. I wanted that bond, I wanted that oneness for all of us. But not everybody wants that. A lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
the ego, the tiff, the victory, and all of those things are so much important.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazed at how things just turned around.
Wow.
Priyanshu is a borderline ADHD child, and he has certain difficulties when it comes to certain ways of how people deal with him and the behavior that people have with him. He's an
Mm-hmm.
extra sensitive child, and he was very, very attached to me. So it was very tough for him to believe that he has to let go of me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I understood that, when the he got the stepmom when his father got married, when I understood that he's having difficult time and all that, I tried to, talk that out and say that, probably you could give away the custody to me and I'm fine. You all live your life, we live our life. And anyways, I'm okay with,
Mm-hmm.
by that time I was married. By that time I was doing much better in my financial, my business also, my financial situation changed, my health changed. A lot of things have changed by then, that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had strong support system in Vikas, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I told that probably, and Priyanshu was very, very attached. Is still attached to Vikas. So I had no issues over there. I was like, it's a very smooth setup that we can get into. It's a very, very, very smooth way that we can solve this out. But things didn't work out, and I fought. I went to the court, and the amount of trauma Priyanshu had been through because of the court case,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a heart to let him continue that. I would have won it, Pranali. I would have won that case, and I would have had Priyanshu with me at the cost of Priyanshu's own, healthy state of mind,
Mm-hmm.
his own belief about parents, about marriage, about relationships, and about everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and I talked them into ending this, because I started the case, so I had to end. So I talked to them that let's
Mm-hmm.
not do this to our son. Let's not do this. So I just came to know that they got an opportunity to shift to UK for work purpose, and I was like, great. I am more than happy to allow you all to move out, and I'm more than happy to also let Priyanshu go, because that means that he'll have met more better education system. He'll have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
more opportunities out there over there. However, we made very clear cut custody papers again, that he has to be in contact with me, how he has to meet me, what all needs to be done, what all needs to be, how I need to be informed about his counseling or whatever is needed, if he's on medication, or if there is
Mm-hmm.
anything that needs to be talked about, because I'm his mother. Plus, I'm an expert, so I'll always be able to help him in a more great way. But you know how it is right now. Right now, I am not even able to talk to him. I'm constantly being told that he hates you, he doesn't want to talk to you. However, I have so many pictures after I'd been told that
Yeah.
he hates you, he doesn't want to meet you. I have so many pictures of myself and him, which shows that we are perfectly bonded. And it was cruel. It was cruel for anybody to tell a mother that your child hates you. And same as Priyanshu has been told that your mother doesn't love you, she left you, she just wants money, and all
Oh.
those kind of things. We know all this kind of dirt happens. But I never thought that that would happen with me, or my the kind of position I have in their all's life. I never thought
Mm-hmm.
that I would be put down like this. Anyways, to each to its own. We can't control how people behave. I was very depressed for 2.5 or 3 years. And one day, Pranali, I just told to myself that how long I can be so sad, how long I can, I would sleep for 18 hours in a day. I would not be able to eat. I'd not be able to go out and meet friends. If I see a parent and a child, or a mother and a child together, I would start crying, even if I'm in a restaurant, or if I'm with my friends, or even because I would miss Priyanshu. So it was that traumatic. But I made one decision. One day I made a decision that me being unhappy, me being sad, me being in so much of sorrow and pain is not serving Priyanshu, and it is not serving me.
Mm-hmm.
When time will come that he wants to come to me, I'll be half dead if I live like this. And I don't want
Right.
to give my son that kind of a mother. So I
Mm-hmm.
better take charge of my life. I work on my health. I work on my business, and make myself financially even stronger. I make myself mentally strong, and I should definitely be more. When he looks at me, he must feel proud of me. That, oh, look at my mom. She has accomplished so much. She has changed so much, and she's not one crying, cribbing mother. She's one
Mm-hmm.
empowered hell of a woman who I can go to and ask for help, and who can guide me when I need that. If I'm
Wow.
crying all day long, if he'll come to me, what will he ask me? If I'm not able
That's
to take care
true.
of myself, how will I teach him? So,
Mm-hmm.
I made that decision. Oh, it was not a very easy way out, but that
Yeah, I
sounded the
mean,
most
yeah.
logical.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded the most logical, and that sounded the most win-win situation for everybody. When Priyanshu comes to me, or when I meet him, I will be more capable, pain free.
Right.
I'll not be bedridden. I'll not be poor. I'll not be sick. What else a child wants? A child wants a happy parent, right?
That's true. So I mean, it's all traumatic to hear even that out, and even connecting to that emotional thought of being mother. I mean, it's very disturbing overall. Coming out of that trauma, standing, taking a step, and thinking 10 years ahead at that point of time, and taking the decision at that stepping stone where you are is not so easy. I mean, it's really commendable, and I'm very happy for you that you have a Vikas in your life who changed your life, who is boosting your life. It's very unusual side of the second marriage that we are seeing in your marriage. Before we get there to the second marriage, there is one more question I have. When you said about the custody, how even though you had all the formalities, the legal custody of your son, that at least you can be in touch with him, and then you should be able to get a progressive report of his life, which is, as a biological parent, I think it's everybody's responsibility. It's to be given. So uh, I mean, why do you think there is is there any flaw in the law that we have that we should be discussed out, especially in the Indian marriage divorce cases? Is there anything that can be addressed well so that the society comes together and these kind of, the whatever the paperwork that you see can be preserved and should be, the mother and father should be at a peace when it comes down to a child custody matter?
Yes, definitely. You know what? I realized that we don't suffer at the hand of laws. Our laws are not bad, but we suffer at the hand of justice. These are two
Mhm.
different things. A lot of people don't understand the difference between law and justice. Justice is a per se, like, everybody has their own way of finding what is justifiable. Okay,
Right.
so the biggest issue we have in India is that if my son's father is not allowing me to meet him or talk to him or be in contact with him, or not giving me the address where he is, or not giving me the school, which is all written in decree. I can actually send you, and
Mm-hmm.
you can post the screenshots if you want. And
Yes.
at the place where I am right now in India and he's in UK, I get so many
Mm-hmm.
messages from his friends and other family members and so many people where I hear that he's being beaten, he's been mistreated, he's not being given the
Oh.
right treatment for his behavioral condition, and he's been suffering because there are a lot of stuff. And I get calls from Priyanshu as well, where he's in so much of distress that he calls me and tells me that he doesn't want to stay there anymore. But still, I'm not able to do anything about it because the legal system has a procedure, and the procedure
Mm-hmm.
takes eternity. You can win a case in India, but it may take you 2000 years as well.
Oh.
So that's the problem over here. And everything that his father is doing is a non-cognizant crime, which means
Mm-hmm.
if I kill someone or rape someone or I steal from someone, it's a cognizant is coming under a family section code. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And family court, nobody wants to take responsibility because there have been instances where me and my husband would be fighting cats and dogs, and after a few days, because we resolved something and we talked something out, we'll be like, okay, we don't want this issue anymore and we don't want. So there is no way that a court will want to give a verdict when it comes to a family issue. They
Wow.
always want you to resolve it. Okay.
And do you see that any kind of counseling work should be done there, like that something has to step ahead, and then this kind of matter should be resolved in a much graceful way.
So there are counselors in court, but it's
Okay.
about how much you're able to talk to them and make them understand what's going on, and how much they are able to present forward. So every paper that we put forward in court can be changed any day.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
so
surprising.
so
So there
yeah.
is no constant the case going on. There is no constant person who is looking into it. So every time they will hand over and move on, hand over and move on. Is that the case?
Not only that, but if you see, if there was a proper procedure, why would so many rapists and so many thieves and murderers would be? In fact, a lot of people in our parliament, look at them, a lot of them are criminals, right? We know that,
Mhm.
right? So in political system, if you see, or if you probably look into so many places, we see that there are criminals, they are just moving. Nirbhaya case, she was raped brutally, but you see how long it took for them to just get hanged. you know
Mhm.
so the the so there is a law for everything, and which is a perfect law, but there is justice system which is not in exact place as it should be when it comes to the application of the law. Okay.
Mhm.
So every time I would go and say, today I would go and say that no, I don't have any issues, my husband never did anything to me, and tomorrow I can just go in, walk in the court, and I can say I would just say that he beats me up. Both of them stands. Court doesn't say that you lied yesterday. Court says that, okay, maybe you said something else yesterday, you are saying this today. Court doesn't look at you as a liar. To me or to him, to anybody, they are not looking as liars. It's not as it is in films. Okay, it's very different.
Yeah.
So there, the support system that anybody needs when it comes to any legal things going on is that clarity. When you don't have clarity, you don't know the rules, you don't know the laws, you give up very soon.
Hmm.
Okay. And there's a lot of stigma, and there's a lot of uh, kind of traumatic stress attached to courts and police stations and all these kind of stuffs. So people give in to that. People
Hmm.
feel that, okay, oh, I lost it, oh, I'm just going to be ruined. They start thinking like that.
Hmm.
In my case, I also had that kind of trauma where I was suffering because I couldn't see my son suffering through it. I'm one
Hmm.
person who doesn't give up, otherwise would I be where I am?
Hmm.
I wouldn't be there, right?
Right.
But I gave up on that custody case because I made a choice that there is a very thin line between being strong and being stupid, and I did not want to be stupid when it comes to my son. So I
Hmm.
ended that. I ended that because I understood that justice will come, but it will take a lot of time. And all that time, my son will be in a lot of trauma, which I did not
Hmm.
want.
Wow, that's really impressive to know that. I'm sure he'll come back to you, and it's just a matter of few years when I think when he becomes 18 and more, I think he will be free on his own, and he will understand a lot of things. But then looking at that, a child going through that kind of a emotional trauma and carrying that for so many years, to shred that trauma is also not easy, being any human, whether it's a man or a woman. I mean, I think it's the same case all over. And I'm very glad to see this other side of you, that now you're standing for people to, give that emotional strength, power, and the source being is your son. For him, you wanted to stand, and you stood for so many other people around that we have. I know that you have touched more than 5,000 lives for now, and you have made a difference to them. You are guiding them. You are at one time you are cushioning them if it's needed. It's a wonderful job as a mother you are doing. I feel like I should just clap on it.
Thank you.
And I mean, in order to, coming to the counselors, the psychology aspect of, giving the custody, the family law, and everything in place, do you think some movement that the society should take up to bring the
There are,
change?
there are, but irrelevant of whatever support or whatever kind of movement is going on, or are supporting each other, the legal system has its own format, and it does not walk out of it, no matter what you do. If that was the case, would Nirbhaya's rapists, the culprits who were found, would be living for 7, 8, 9, 9, 10 years, and people would be negotiating on that?
Mhm.
That's the biggest loophole that we have in our system, that the law is there for everything, but the justice and the all negotiations that we can do is, like, beyond miserable in a way. And
So those
for
loopholes needs to be addressed.
cannot be addressed because we give a benefit of doubt to everybody. That's what legal system says. That
Hmm.
you say that I am saying that the particular person stole from me or raped me, that doesn't mean that I am not a liar. If the person says that no, I never did that, I'm not guilty of it, that's it. So
I'm
how do you
sure
how
there
do
is a, I mean,
yeah,
there should be some brighter side coming on right now with the social media movements and everything that is happening. I mean, things are changing, and it will change very soon. I mean, the only thing that we don't want to see you is another mother like you or another child like Priyanshu suffering through this system. And we can hope, and if necessary, through this kind of the conversations that we are happening, somebody is noting down. I'm just trying to give that kind of a message, and if somebody is tapping onto it, please note it down. This is one important thing that we really need to bring change, whether it's a woman or a man. We have to stand together and get these things moving smooth.
absolutely.
The other part of you, after what has happened, and then you fall into a second marriage. I would not say fall into, but you decided to go ahead with it. It's a very unusual second marriage that that any woman can even dream of. He's a IAS officer. He's a 7 years younger to you. He's a perfect man. He's a very subtle. He's a very gentleman. I have known him for years too, and falling in love with that kind of a person is every girl's dream, I'm sure. This man, who was a boy, he never had a girlfriend even, and he decided to propose you, get into with your in you like a serious relationship, taking that to a marriage step is a way astonishing thing for all of us. We love to see that humble, a very gentleman known as Vikas. Can we have him on a show for a minute?
Absolutely, absolutely. So because please join in.
It's little it's little exceptional case. I never thought of that, when I'm doing this woman special express show, I would bring up a man behind a woman. But I think seeing a Vikas, knowing the background of it, and accepting this kind of a woman, it's not so easy. Being a man or being any human being, accepting other partner that way is it's not easy. It has a lot of challenges in itself. You have to convince your family. You have to live through all that. Those are the norms. I mean, hats off to you, man. That's the first thing I would do. So Vikas, a very quick question to you. When a man or any human
Mhm.
being wants a relationship in their life, what is that the most important thing they should be trusting on?
So, Pranali, Thank you for calling me on this show, and I am humbled for all the appreciation you have done for me. And yeah, regarding the question, the question is really wonderful one. So when somebody is looking for a relationship, they should understand first of all what is the dynamics of the relationship. For example, what are your own limitation? What are the limitation of the other person you wanted to be with? And you should always trust your own gut feeling, because gut feeling don't lie to you. And you look for the value system of the other person, because value system like integrity, authenticity plays a very important role in a long.
Wow, I mean that's a very spiritual side of it, you know, having a relationship, that kind of a compassion, that kind of a love, and looking at the integrity and moving on, you know, losing all these parts that are so worldly or so materialistic. I mean, digesting that thought is one thing, leaving that thought is another thing. So, right? I mean, you
Right.
have
True.
to face every day some or the other people, right? In your office, you're facing your in your neighborhood, everywhere. Of oneness is a way different. How are you dealing that?
Yeah, so when you are true to yourself, when I am true to myself, it is very easy. In fact, if my life is open book to everyone, then it is very easy to tell anything to anyone. Then people don't ask you. If you hide something, then people ask you. If it is open book, they don't. So if anybody is asking me how about marriage, son, I tell them that this is the way I got married, and Priyanshu is our son. Then they are fine with that. If
Wow.
you have doubt within you, then that doubt is reflected. So till now, nobody have given me that type of look, or that type, in that way. Nobody have asked me any question.
Wow. That's impressive. I mean, impressive to know, being a IAS officer, carrying this kind of life, and really living something very idealistic is way difficult. We all know about it, and I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see that you're keeping Neha so happy now. We have seen her when she was in the dark side. I mean, whoever have seen her would definitely feel that, you know, there is a different glow on her face now, and this marriage, this relationship have uh, got her very high, and I'm sure it's reflecting you the same way. And it's very good to see a
Yes,
man
definitely.
standing behind this kind of a woman to be a successful one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Thank you.
happy for her.
Yeah. So when it comes down to Priyanshu, if he comes back, I know that you are 100% ready, and you always wanted him to be in your life.
Yes.
But what is that message that you would like to give to other kind of children who have their moms, or who have their step fathers, for that matter? It's not easy to look upon to a stepfather, right?
Yeah, Pranali, such a wonderful thing you have asked. But I will tell you a secret today, that what I have done is, all the children want their parents to be happy. And if you make the mother happy, children will automatically be happy. And if you have a great bond with the mother, you will have a great bond with the child also. So it is very important you take care of the mother. Also, if anybody feels that the bridging is not happening, then they must take help from the counselor or any therapist. That is my suggestion.
Wow. So there Neha comes into the picture back. Well, we
True.
are almost out of time, and we have a very special round before we go, and that's a rapid fire round. So I'd like to have Neha back on the stage, and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
continue with the
Yeah,
rapid fire.
thanks, Pranali.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Vikas. Yeah, thank you so
yeah.
much. So we'll go with the rapid fire round. Only 5 questions, not more than that, before ending our show, and the final message from you. So, a thought that changed your life.
But a thought can change my life. If I change how I'm thinking, that can really change my life. That's the one thought that really changed my life.
Hmm. According to you, what is that one fact that man should never forget about a woman?
That she's equal.
Wow, interesting. Forgive or forget?
I think forgive and forget.
Mhm.
So I always say this, that forgiving some person is my gift to them, and forgetting them is my gift to myself.
Hmm. If you have given a chance to dance in front of 1 million people, what song will you pick?
I think there are so many that I would love to. Any Hindi Bollywood song, maybe the Desi Girl or London Thumakda, all of those. I love all of those songs which Bollywood. I love, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so good to know that. What's the first word it comes to your mind when somebody says mother?
Well, I feel that the only thing that comes to my mind is strength. I think to give birth is strength, to let the child grow through whatever pain they go through, or whatever, how they come out of everything. Everything is the teething problem, the eating problem, and everything from the small, when the baby is small,
Mm-hmm.
till the baby grows up, or maybe till the eternity, till the mother is alive. All she has to
Mm-hmm.
keep is being strong and being strength, having strength. So one word that comes to my mind when somebody says motherhood, I would say strength.
Wow. We really appreciate that strong side of a woman from you, and how you're inspiring others. So before we go, one takeaway question that I have, what kind of a message that you would like to pass on to all kind of a women who have some or the other passion, aspiration within themselves? They want to pursue it, but they are kind of subtle in a way. They are trying to prolong the decision because they are thinking that some other decisions in their life are more important to pay attention to, or whatever at their family level is going on, where they should be more prone, and where they should be more at a front side. So what kind of a message you would like to pass down to those kind of a women who really have that within them but are still not stepping ahead?
I just say one thing, it's very, very important to take care of yourself and now love yourself first, because, and there is nothing wrong in taking care of family, children, husband, and everybody else around you. But it's very wrong if you don't take care of yourself in order to take care of others. You cannot serve from an empty cup. You cannot.
Mm-hmm.
So always make sure that you fill your cup, so that you can, if like the way I said about myself, that I want to be better in my life so that I can be better for everybody around me. If I am sick, I'm crying, I'm sad, I'm upset, how good I am for this world.
Mm-hmm.
So the most important thing that anybody needs to understand, any women needs to understand, or even many men needs to understand, is that they have to learn to respect themselves, love themselves, and put themselves uh, as a priority. There is nothing wrong. It's not selfish. It's not
Mm-hmm.
selfish. Self love is not selfish. Only when you can take care of yourself, you can take care of others. So do that. Whatever anybody is stuck at, we all need some guidance. See what happens when you are traveling, and if you get stuck, I don't know which road to go, which way to go, which turn to take. Is it a U-turn? It's a right or a left, or I don't know. So what do? I go to GPS. I ask it, right? Is there
Mm-hmm.
any shame about asking GPS about where I need to reach and how do I reach there? No. So it's the same way that you go to a coach or you go to a therapist if you are facing some internal issues or mental issues, or going to a coach for guidance that, I don't know, I'm stuck over here. I don't know. Trust me, I have 5 coaches right now when it comes to my health, when it comes to my mindset, when it comes to my business, when it comes to my relationship. I have coaches whom I go to and I ask them that, what,
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to evolve from this place to this place. I want to, if I'm earning 6 figure or 7 figure and I want to reach to 8 figure, I need somebody to guide me who had done that. And there's no shame about it. Me being a coach, me being a life and a business coach, I have coaches as well. So hire a coach. You can't imagine how much a coach can just change your life. You need somebody to guide you through what you don't know, in that unknown zone. So go ahead and you'll rock it. That's my promise. If I can, anybody can.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being on our show, and it is wonderful to meet you, to see the other side of that people have not seen. When we see a success, we tend to lose the other details. So that is what I wanted to bring it on the stage, and that many others can get inspired from this kind of the conversations that are happening, and we are revealing a very true side of it's a woman or a man. It's a true side of them that somebody needs to look at it and feel that okay, if one can pass through that kind of a hole, then probably we can, sure, whatever is going on. You have been always an inspiration to me. It's been many years now, and I'm really looking forward to meet personalities like you on this kind of a show. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for viewing this Women's Special Express. We'll keep coming back with these kind of ideal, you can say, or you can say a very strong side of a woman. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pranali. It had been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I let go of my claim on